Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon if you're in EU. We are live once again with EU hi-rez tournament this week. Alongside me today is the wonderful, the only Creterino. Cret, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, Hinderman. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. And I'm excited because we're going to see some interesting teams coming out this week. Some pros from different teams all joining forces and making mini teams.
That's cute. They're like babies.
I guess we can go with babies. Well, up first on your screen, as you can see, is imaginary team up against the Potato Boys. Potato Boys with a slightly adjusted roster from what we used to see. No Proxy QQ anymore, no adapting on their side. Instead, they have picked up Yami. Sorry, not Yami. A few other players. I should know their names.
and Redfoo.
There we go. And Redfoo. They've been picked up. And as you can see, the picks and bans coming through nice and slow. So we get a chance to talk at the start of this. Ket, Vulcan, Freya, Carly. What a surprise. Nothing unusual there.
Yeah, I mean, the Kali man, I guess, is not completely standard, but it's totally understandable right now. Just Kali is so good. People finally figured out how to get through the first 15 minutes of that game with her to those chin size, and then they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? When she has her chin size, she's a pretty strong character.
Really is, but she's got to get those chances online first of all, and we've seen Carly's have really good games and really bad games too, where she's not managed to get those chins until very late in. However, first pick for imaginary team, and they're going to lock in Ale Kwong. We do not have a photo of Ale Kwong. The reason being, he's not very photogenic, so we haven't managed to catch him because he's so fast and goes into stealth using his illusions. But for an imaginary team, that makes a lot of sense. Potato Boys though, locking in Sylvanas and Thor.
Yeah, Sylvanas and Thor. Honestly, kind of a throwback for the Potato Boys. Sylvanas, I think Dirgius's Sylvanas play is. Dirgius just seems to get a good grasp for the new supports a little bit quicker than some of the other EU players.
He's not very good. He's not very good in Sylvanas.
He's not, and in the end, he doesn't end up, I don't think, at the same level as some of the other EU supports. But I think he learns the new gods a little quicker, and sometimes he learns new gods and then no one else even cares about them, such as your boy Cabrakan.
Cabrakan is a player. Geb and Apollo locked in across the way for imaginary team, so they've already fixed up their duo lane, and Giannis locked in for the Potato Boys. Now it's into the counterman phase, and I believe Giannis will probably be played by Suntouch in the middle lane, as that's where he's transitioned to now.
Really, not to solo lane. That's a shame.
I know he's nearly completed the whole set, and he chose to go back to mid.
I guess it's a cycle that's not involving solo lane.
So where's he go?
So he's going to go to support next.
Support next. Okay, so in before, keep your eyes open, guys, because Dirgius may get kicked off Potato Boys if Suntouch chooses in that situation. It'd be interesting to see, though. Anyway, counterbands come out. Agni taken away from imaginary team, and it's over to them for their counterban before it goes back for the Potato Boys first.
Should be a hunter man.
That's not hunter.
Okay, Loki. Yeah. I don't really get the Loki ban. Maybe it's sort of like a targeted ban at one of the players, but I feel like with a Geb, you're sort of set against Loki.
Loki's one of those that if you're gonna have to face in lane in the solo lane that you don't really want to. He's gonna be very hard to kill and pin down, and he has the split push potential, and also that late game when he does get his full build online, he's got insane damage to just destroy one person on the team. So I understand the Loki bans to an extent, just because they don't want to have to deal with that later on and want to be able to kill in lane potentially.
Totally. That's why they banned Loki. They were planning on picking a Hell, and there it is. Hell for the solo lane, Nuwa for the middle lane, and Loki is honestly not that bad against Hell. He has a lot of kill potential because of how squishy she is, especially with the Jungle Thor, and in fact, picking Hell and Jungle Thor is borderline reckless. Especially when the solo laner has not shown his face yet. It's going to be Cabrakan.
I think that's solo lane Sylvanas if they lock in Cabrakan. I don't know if they will lock in Cabrakan now. They're hovering it. I doubt it's going to be Cabrakan. Ooh. Tina Nox.
I mean, that would probably be really good against Hell.
Oh, really good. Well, that's the whole point of Nox, is she's very good against gods that spam abilities. And what does Hell do? She kind of spams. Just a little bit.
Even the stance switch counts as a proc for the Nox ultimate. And in lane, Nox has such strong poke, and Hell is so squishy that it could be very strong. Back to Cabrakan. Back to Nox. And it's going to be the Nox. So we'll see how she does in competitive play. It's certainly going to be interesting.
I mean, the biggest issues that we know that Nox has overall is that she has no escape ability. She has no way to displace herself from the fight. She's got no escapes whatsoever. She's just going to have to rely on burst damage and good positioning, all in all. And then obviously teammates as well to follow her up. Her damage is insane though, Cret. I mean, it's very low cooldown. She has the ability to silence, especially against a Hell Noir. That's pretty good. Even a Geb it can work against as well. But she doesn't have any escapes, and that's one of the biggest issues that I can see. But we'll see how she plays out.
Well, honestly, I think against an Ao Kuang, Nox isn't too bad. Oh, wait, no, never mind. The one only works on one ability, so...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's not great dive on Imaginary Team, but if Ao Kuang ever gets next to Nox, she's gonna just completely disappear.
Well,
Completely
guys,
gone.
there's your teams on paper right now. Imaginary Team up against Potato Boys in this Round 1 EU one-shot tournament. Brought to you by hi-rez. We'll be right back as these guys load in for the action. Welcome back, boys and girls, to Game 1 of this EU Weekly Tournament that's been presented to you by hi-rez. Just a quick one-shot for you all. On the left, we'll be seeing Imaginary Team up against the Potato Boys' new roster. At least the semi-new roster. We'll find out in the coming months whether this will stay together. But everybody loaded in and underway. Imaginary Team going to be on the bottom side of the map, the left-hand side of your spectator UI. You're going to see Kyo Twig playing Hell in the solo lane, banned for BM, even though he's still in the game, playing Ao Kuang in the jungle. Lego Kinetic, let's go with that. That sounds good. New War in mid. Frizzylicious is going to be playing Apollo. In the duo, and stay behind me, he's going to be playing Geb.
That's a good name for a support player. On the other side, it's the Potato Boys, and that's the only time I'm going to do it today. Arrow in the solo lane this time on Nox. Redfu will be your jungler playing Thor. Suntouch in the middle lane, so he's not going to go to solo. He's going to go to mid, his original competitive position. He'll be playing Yanis Dirgius, the support player, on that Sylvanas, and Jermaine, the hunter, on Rom.
So early on, we saw both teams play very, very passively. It doesn't look like they went to fight, but now Dirgius might get caught very late on this to go on board. Oh, the passive kicked in just nicely for him and got the root off. That actually allowed him to survive that little engagement. That could have got him caught out of position there, in all honesty.
Very well could have, and you know, Dirgius dying before the first minute is something that we've almost come to expect.
It's not a shock, is it? Let's be honest.
Nah, it's really not.
But on the right-hand side, you can see Bamford BM actually putting an early ward down near the speed. They're considering invading, but nope, they're not going. They're just going to soak up the mid-harpies and a normal transition. Sylvanas, though, on the top side, they're just going to actually take away and hog the back harpies just to get himself to level 2 a little bit quicker. And this is something that we came... Incontinentia was the first one to really bring this to the foreground.
Yeah. Well, Incontinentia is a support player that just loves
Being a
carrying. That too. Over in the solo lane, we are going to see Nox versus Hell, which off-camera we were talking about, an interesting matchup. And in this sort of solo duo phase, I feel like it's going to be Potato Boys taking control, just Arrow having so much poke. But in a straight fight, I think there's a little more damage.
Hell took a lot of poke already.
Oh, wow!
And she's dead. That's what happens when you do eat a Siphon Darkness to the face. A rank 2 Siphon Darkness as well there, Cret, to the face. That's what's going to happen. 3-second cooldown. You're going to get evaporated. Now you can see Redfu transition to mid lane. He's going to look for this new ward over extending Berserker Barrage. Does some decent damage there. Slow from the threshold coming out from Suntouch. Can he find a portal? He can. There's in the stable vortex. Is it available? It isn't yet. It is now. Doesn't manage to find it. And eats a bit of poke for his troubles. But nice aggression early. Looks like they're going to go for the speed invade now.
Yeah, looking directly for the speed invade, and it should be free. Ao Kuang doesn't have any mana, and really would not be able to contest, so his speed is more or less gone. Geb, level 2, doesn't want to try and get in here. He will die if he does.
Oh, on the right-hand side, you can continue to see Bamford BM playing that Ao Kuang, actually going to take his own red buff down now. He knows his speed's gone. And now you can check it with Arrow, who's really putting the domination onto Hell. I think one of the issues Hell has is that she uses her repulse, so she has to get into melee range with the minions to clear it. But in doing so, it sets him up for the damage from Arrow.
Yeah, you just cannot get that close to Nox solo. Now, if you have a friend, you can get close to Nox. You can get real close, and there's really not too much she can do about it. So, Kyo Twig really needs to rely on his jungler to stay afloat in this lane.
We'll have to see if the jungler does put the pressure on in this lane and see how that's going to play out for them. In the moment, though, you can see Redfu in mid lane actually just going to farm up, try and get himself to hit 5 for the time being. He should hit 5 off this wave here, and then they'll be ready for the mid Harpies, which spawn in about 50 seconds time right now. El Kwang's actually going to rotate mid as well, so we may see a little bit of a poke coming out here, I'm not sure. Nah, nothing spectacular. What a surprise.
On the left-hand side, as you might expect, Sylvanas has lane control. And he's going to use that to make a very early rotation towards the mid-Harpies. Not really sure why Georgius is leaving lane so early and forfeiting a wave of experience, but I guess it's for a Sylvanas gank?
Well, he's already level 5 at the moment. He's trying to gank, does get a good pull off, but where's the follow-up? He has to ult to get himself out of trouble there, really. Suntouch doesn't really have the mana to follow up. And that almost going to be on cooldown for these mid-Harpy spawning now. Both very low on mana, so this should be a 1-for-1 trade minimum in favour of Imaginary Team.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to get the right Harpies at least. Suntouch is putting himself in a very aggressive position, but with Arrow rotating in, yeah, it's not going to be a good look for Imaginary Team. Left-hand side Harpies are secured by Durgius, and Redfu will get the right. So a heavy rotation, and what would typically be a costly rotation will get them the mid-Harpies, but honestly, Arrow's just so far ahead that it's not that expensive.
Oh, nice pull in mid from Dirge. It's actually going to land onto Geb, force the shield and the rollout, but he's going to eat a portal. Is it going to be enough damage? No, it's not. Unstable Vortex is available, but Suntouch too low on mana to do anything. He's considering using the portal there. Now, if I look at Arrow spamming over the wall, though, trying to get a free hit off. He could continue to chase this down. He has sprint available to chase ban for BM, but changes his mind about it.
And in the solo lane, that's been about 2 waves of free experience for Hell, which gives her a little bit of recovery. She's still on a really bad circumstance in this lane, right? She's still pushed very hard. Her tower is still already at half health, but that little extra bit of experience might keep her afloat.
I mean, the way I always look at teams is who's going to be the front line for the team. You generally want 2 frontliners or a frontliner and 2 halves. For example, you've got half in Ale Kwang who's going to be a frontline with Geb as a full one, but then you're missing the other half really, because if Hal goes in, I expect her to get evaporated by this Nox, so she's going to have to be very, very careful on the position. Across the way, though, you've got Thor and Sylvanas, which I would class as 2 frontliners for the majority of it. Dirge comes a bit again, gets a good pull onto New World. No real damage available from Suntouch, though. Unstable Vortex did hit, but he's out of mana still, so he's not going to find anything there.
Yeah, Suntouch really needs to have gone back to base a few minutes ago. He's been out of mana for a long time and just isn't able to be a threat. I guess he's just trying to save up gold for penetration boots. We'll be going back now with enough gold to finish the boots off in holes. So that's what he was saving for. Did sacrifice some of his map pressure to do that, but if he can ride this power spike, it could be a really big boost for him.
Yeah, it didn't really cost him anything really to, stay in the lane. It just meant they couldn't get an extra kill for themselves, which they probably would have picked up on that New World then, the situation they were in.
Well, there are a few circumstances like that where he was out of mana.
That is very true. Left-hand side, a bit of aggression once again coming out from Dirge and Jermaine. The new duo lane matchup for this. There's a ward down at the speed buff right now of the Imaginary Team placed down by the Potato Boys, and they're already getting in position for it. You see Redfree rotating over here. He's going to be banned for BM as Dirges is here too. Banned for BM is going to be careful about his positioning here because he could get caught out of place, but that Cataclysm was very, very good. Some nice damage coming out, but there's the Unstable Vortex followed through from Suntouch, but it looks like he was going to get out for now. Good dunk down from Redfree on the backside though, with the snipes from Jermaine does pick up banned for BM, and now it looks like Apollo is in a world of trouble.
Apollo's just going to roll right out, seems to be getting into tower range and will be okay. This should be a Gold Fury. Or as Sergius puts it, we can do Gold Fury here. But they're not going to do it. They're going to go to mid lane.
Mid-Harpies instead. I mean, they did manage to get 2 kills out of that, as well as they picked up that speed buff as well for themselves.
Right-hand side, a tower dive coming out from Arrow. Will pick up a kill, and that is 0-2 in lane from Hell.
It's a difficult lane to be in. I mean, you pick Hell before you know what your lane opponent's going to be, and with Nox on the table, a lot of people don't expect it at the moment. You've not seen her too much. She fell out of the ban circuit in league games very, very quickly, and people didn't really pick her up that much. And now people are starting to realize that she's got very good matchups, which is what she's all about, really.
Yeah, I mean, her laning phase is incredible, and that's basically right now why you pick the character. Hopefully, as patches go on, that'll change a little bit. People learn her better, and she becomes a little... I don't quite want to say one-dimensional, but let's be honest, kind of one-dimensional, at least, for the reason that she is picked. Right now, it's all about the lane.
But Red Buff being taken down by both sides right now, 4-0 in terms of the Potato Boys, in terms of kills right now, 5,000 experience lead, 3,500 gold lead as well right now for the Potato Boys, so they're in good control of this game. Looking towards the mid game, I mean, we're starting to, and getting towards the end of laning phase right now, as this tier 1 tower on the right side is going to go down very soon. Who do you feel like is going to control the mid game?
Honestly, it's got to be the Potato Boys, considering they're up around 4,000 gold already at the 7-minute mark. So I think if they just transition properly in the middle lane, we do see a pull with the ultimate coming out. The DOT should be enough, and the kill is going to go to Dirgius. Sylvanas does have a nasty habit of stealing kills.
He does, because of the Wisp, because it's a dot damage as well as his ultimate as well, that Wrath of Terror. Oh, Suntouch going for the kill. He went in deep, using the free space and time. Gonna find the portal, but the Geb Shield should save the life of his teammate. But can anyone follow up? Well, Redfood's gonna follow up, jump to his hammer, Berserker Barrage connects, and now it looks like Geb's gonna go down too to the Unstable Vortex, plus Aero's ultimate coming out there. The Night Terror really was terrifying, and now that's a Gold Fury transition.
Alright, so this time he said we can do Gold Fury here. And that's going to be the Gold Fury for free, going to the Potato Boys, putting them up around 6,000 gold before the 10-minute mark. That is exactly what you need to end a game early. Potato Boys are looking very good, and actually Frizzylicious is putting himself out of position. We'll try to get to the ultimate. Is there enough burst?
Oh,
yes.
there is.
Just barely.
There is just enough burst now. Nuance needs to watch your position a little bit here. Suntouch has no mana though, so he should be okay for the time being. Mid Harpy to the left, due to spawn in about 20 seconds time. And then we'll see those ones contest against Suntouch out of mana in mid as we just stated, but he'll probably be going back to base soon. Or will he?
Probably not. No, seeing his past history in this match, he'll wait a few minutes.
No, he's going. See, I called it.
You had faith.
Called it. I'm better than you.
You had faith. You believed.
I believed.
Yeah, you are.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! That makes me happy. So 8-0 right now in this first round game for the Potato Boys. They're looking pretty strong today with their new roster lineup, at least for the time being. They're up against Imaginary Team, who aren't that well known. Left and Carpy's going to go in favour of Potato Boys right on one's due to spawn in about 15 seconds time. I think one of the issues I can see coming out from Imaginary Team is that they don't, like I said, they don't have any real engage. Suntouch though trying to engage onto Ban for BM, who's already used his illusion to give himself some mobility. Ban for BM going to turn around for Suntouch though. Oh, that Unstable Vortex does connect. Meanwhile, Aero gets a solo kill on Hell. The Unstable Vortex does connect with 2, and Redfield actually picks up one of them as well. Nuwan might be able to fight something with that fire shards. No, she will not. Everybody lives for now, and even Ram is coming over to make sure.
Oh, Redfood going back in though will get taken down by the Shining Metal. Apollo's gonna ult in, looking for Ram. Ram has no mana. He's got some slight support from Dirgius, but the auto attacks are just enough to dissuade Apollo using the beats to cross the portal, and it's gonna be the end of the engagement.
Very good beats coming out there from Frizzylicious, just keeping himself alive for the timing. So first kill of the game goes to Imaginary Team now. They've managed to get themselves on the scoreboard. Little bit of hope in their hearts now, heading into the mid-game.
Alright, well, Speed Buff is available for Imaginary Team, I believe the first time this game, and Potato Boys were not able to get there when they wanted to. So, you know, part of the problem is I feel like Imaginary Team knows Ao Kuang is really strong, but they don't seem able to play to his strengths, or they don't really know how to.
I think the picks have not been around the Ao Kuang jungle. I think that's the issue. They need some other sort of engage other than just Geb. Otherwise, Ao Kuang can't get in there and be that front line. Maybe a second, you know, a second god that's going to go in front line, like Vamana maybe, someone like that, in the solo lane may have worked out okay for them, I guess.
Oh, there's someone else you have to focus, but he's going to be in a really tough spot and taken down. Yeah, just can't. Well, first of all, you can't fight a level 13 Thor when you're so far behind him in the middle lane. Big ultimates coming out. The sole remaining member, never mind. I was going to say Geb, but he got his head taken off real quick. Rom ulting
the triple there. Well, he ulted on the minions and the team as well, I guess. Now they're going to try and group on mid lane, but Suntouch getting a triple kill for himself there. 3-0 and 7 out of the first 3 kills of the game for Suntouch. He's been more of a setup than anything else, but there's a nice portal into the Unstable Vortex coming out, and that's another one. Delayed quadra for Suntouch there. Meanwhile, Jermaine dueling with Apollo, and it looks like Apollo is in a whole world of pain.
Yeah, just a little bit too far ahead is the Rom player. Needs to lend less auto attack, but Apollo was They were good jukes, they just weren't getting him anywhere. They weren't getting him out of the engagement. Geb in the middle lane, trying to get out, but he's just gonna run directly into Thor, who... Oh, Unstable Vortex, nice connection from Suntouch. Mid tower should get turned on and go down as the next creep wave is coming in, and with mid tower down at the 12-minute mark, this is going to be a very, very difficult game to recover from for Imaginary Team. Lego Connect is going to find himself in a word of hurt. Suntouch will once again get the kill, 6-0.
They're currently just running in one by one at the moment, Imaginary Team, and just meeting their end very, very quickly. Jermaine's going to be able to get this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side now. It looks like Potato Boys just turned up the heat the moment they realise, you know, it's reaching mid-game now, correct? And they're just like, let's step it up, let's just push, see how many towers we can get. And already, they've taken 3 in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it's been a really nice transition from the Potato Boys. It's so important to... Once you have established a nice amount of golden experience advantage, and they certainly have it, 20,000 experience, 12,000 gold, incredibly massive. Now it's time to take towers. You need to get complete control over the map and look for a 15-minute fire giant. I don't know if they have the composition for that though.
I don't think they have the support that can pull that one off, really. Stay behind me. He's going to try and get out with the rollout. Going to get the immunity, so he will escape danger there for now. But Suntouch isn't having any of it. He's going in for the kill. Doesn't find an unstable Vortex after the through space and time. Threshold to speed himself up. He's not going to find Geb. Good transition to his tier 2 tower for the protection there. But now there's a fight the Fire Giant.
There is indeed Suntouch on his way in. Durgius will blink to try and protect Arrow, and he's able to do so. Now Suntouch in the middle of 3 players, but he's just chasing out Kwang. He doesn't really care. Gonna get the dragon down. Ooh, great teleport, but Arrow jukes out the sword. Apollo's in the air. Thor's going up and will be able to peel for Arrow. He doesn't connect, and Apollo will find the kill, but it's going to cost him his life. On the other side of the fight, it's a Hunter versus a Nuwa, and with the minions down, she's got no one to body block for her. Lego Connect will fall to Jermaine. One more auto attack. That's all it takes, and then there's a Geb.
Now Geb surrounded by 4 members of the team. Berserker Barrage and another kill for Suntouch, making him unstoppable now. He went from 0 kills to 7 in a matter of seconds in this game. Fire Giant is available, but it's not going to be the easiest thing to do at 14 minutes in the game, so they're going to look to push this tier 2 tower on the right. Only Ban for BM and Hell available to defend this, and I don't think they'll get here in time.
I don't think they will, and that tower's going to go down. Only 1 left on the map, and then the Phoenixes, and honestly at this point, yeah, it's only 15 minutes in, but there's just so much raw experience on the Potato Boys. They probably can do a Fire Giant. Nice blinking gauge from Geb. If his team had more damage, it might have worked out. Coming in the backside is Alquan, unloading onto Jermaine, but not going to find the damage he wants. Can't execute as Redfu gets out, but he's being chased by Frizzylicious and Lego Connect.
Well, Durgis actually going to try and do his best to body block for Redfu, who does get out through that wall. So does Durgis. Giannis, boys and girls, saves the day. Those portals stay on the ground for 11. Oh, this call. They're going for fire. This is a really good call. The only problem is Geb's level 8. That's my issue. I think. Yeah. Can they do it? Well, he's dropping
There's 5 of them, and they have a Hell. I believe they can actually do it. There is enough damage the Fire Giant goes down.
What a
the Imaginary Team might have just bought themselves 5 minutes, but it might not matter. There is still a 15k gold difference.
I don't care if Imaginary Team lose this now. That was a fantastic call from their shot caller. Whoever made that call, that was brilliant and, well, very, very worthwhile for the team. They have bought themselves time. I don't know if it's going to get them back in the game, but gosh darn it, they're not giving up.
They're not. They're not. And, you know, usually you'd be like, wow, 25,000 experience, 15,000 gold, 15 minutes, 24-2, throw in the towel, but with a play like that, there is reason not to surrender. There is hope, because that buys 5 minutes, and that might be enough to start a recovery, which is sort of like
it's the
thing before a comeback. Yeah. No. Okay. Start a recovery to transition into a comeback. It's phases. It takes time. You got to get a lot of picks onto Suntouch.
Well, they've got to get 25,000 experience back and 15,000 gold. The Fire Giant, will it be able to help them? That's the question. Ban for BM's actually going to get... Oh, Geb's rolling really in deep here as well. He's actually going to meet Redfu and get evaporated in seconds. There's one Fire Giant down, or is it Cataclysm? Through space and time does connect. And now the unstable Vortex finds himself a double. And now Nuwa takes the edge to try and survive as long as possible. Ban for BM does take out the support player, but at what cost? Because Suntouch gets a triple. He's looking for more. Redfu's actually going to take away the quadra from him. Jermaine takes away the penta from him. And there's a tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. We said 5 minutes here, Crep. I think it was 3.
I think it was 1. maybe 2. That didn't buy much time at all. The Phoenix will go down the left-hand side, tanked by Redfu on Thor as Durgius did go down. Geb showed back up, but he realizes he doesn't want to be here. Thanks to CC Immunity, will be able to roll out and roll away. Left Phoenix is down. It is the most important Phoenix, applying the most map pressure on the Titan. And honestly, for the Potato Boys, they should just be able to back off and then push mid. It's actually a 2v4 right here, but Arrow and Jermaine might be able to win this. Arrow is under a lot of pressure. He needs to keep casting his abilities. Will fall. It's up to Jermaine. 1v3. 1v4. He has enough damage. He gets 1. Going for 2. His next target is going to be on the Apollo. Nope, takes a portal out.
Takes the ball out, but Suntouch comes in. Now look at the damage spread off him. Sable Vortex drops into half health. And now with that big portal coming out onto Lego, he's in trouble too. Jermaine finds another kill. Suntouch with another one going immortal in this game. And they all back out. That was overconfidence from Jermaine more than anything else. He was very, very cocky and confident, but it ended up paying off. That's not going to happen all the time though.
No, I mean, it has a lot to do with just how far ahead he is and his team was, and it's important to play those leads. But that was really on the edge. That was really close to letting the lead play him. Stay behind me, trying to roll out. Will get interrupted by a great teleport from Redfu, who should be able to get the kill. Not taking too much damage from Ao Kwang either, speaking of which, trying to avoid the snipe, but Jermaine's going to take his head off. Coming in is Frizzylicious on that Apollo. Needs to turn around and get out, but he's not going to be able to. The right Phoenix has fallen. There's only 1 left. That new wall hardly does any damage, and Stable Vortex is going to zone everyone off. Durgius is not fun to pull.
Well, Suntouch still going to hang around. He does a Stable Vortex up soon. He does go for the shotgun, doesn't find it though. Suntouch in trouble, and he looks like he might even get out. He's going to get out using the portal from the through space and time to get himself really far out of dodge. Hal cannot clean up this. She's too far behind. 2 Phoenixes down, and Arrow is now the only man on the forefront. Can he find a kill? That's the question. Looks like he might on Hell now. Right in mid lane. There's 1 damage, 2 pieces of damage, 3 pieces of damage. Poof!
The problem
goes
is,
to Hell.
1v1, once Nox links to Hell, there's nothing she can do. Even switching stances will apply a tick of damage, and when that's hitting for... That's like 400 damage, about, at least. So you switch stances, you heal, and you're down 200 health. All you can do is run away. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. Twig doesn't have any actives, so he doesn't have any options. Arrow just takes the kill pretty much for free. The one thing I do want to mention is Suntouch's ultimates this game have been world class. Yeah, among the best Yan assaults.
Every single one has got his team out or himself out and the team in when they've so required to, but the communication has been good as well, in all honesty, to allow that to happen, because they've been able to tell them that the portal's coming and people have used them immediately. There's really a good sign of communication between this team, and for a possibly new established team for themselves, the Potato Boys with the new roster, it's working pretty well for them so far.
Yeah, especially having lost Adapting, who is just such an amazingly strong jungle player, but Redfu doesn't look like a slouch in this match. It's important to see how he fares against some of the higher caliber teams, but he's looking good so far and definitely working with his team, which is always important.
Well, last Phoenix to go down, blinking, Cataclysm coming out from Stay Behind Me, but what can they do off that? That's the question. Apollo's up, Nuwar's up, but slowly but surely it looks like Imaginary Team are getting whittled down. Durgius finding himself a kill, Suntouch finding himself godlike. The Phoenix still stands, but for how long?
That's going to be almost everyone dead. Deicide comes out. The Titan is the sole remaining member of Imaginary Team, but I think it was just an illusion. The Titan will disappear as soon as it started fighting, and Imaginary Team's go down in 20 minutes, 44 seconds. Potato Boys will be moving on to round 2, as will we.
As will we. We'll be right back after this short little break as we get the next teams ready for the picks and bans phase.